Hi, everyone, and welcome to a game that I hold a bit close to my heart. This is Hades. Now, many people have probably already heard of Hades. It is a roguelike game that has like excellent combat, but also an excellent story, and it's gonna be a quite a fun time, I feel. Now, one thing I will say is that if you decide to play on your PC, if you have one, I will say that it is a bit better to use a controller. We'll get into why a little later, either through the series or what have you. But for now, let us just get right into it.
Few tales are told of Hades, whose very name inspires fear and penitence, reminding us of the inevitable fate which we all share. I, however, mean to tell you such a tale. Listen carefully. Goodbye, Father.
Yes, goodbye. This is Tartarus.
To
I
help
thought
this
that.
place.
And this is the start.
I'm leaving.
Now, you start with a sword that we will get to the name of eventually, and we just gotta beat up these people who these spirits here. You use square to do a heavy light attack, and then triangle to do a special attack that we'll see how it changes. But for now, just know that that's the special attack button. And then X is your dodge.
There she
And
is.
after clearing all of the enemies,
It's got to be her. Then here goes nothing. In the name of Hades, Olympus, I accept this message.
Hail, noble cousin. Now, let's get you from that miserable place. I'll see that all of us upon Olympus do our part, beginning here with me.
we get a boon. These are little upgrades to yourself or your abilities that are given from Greek gods. As you may be able to tell with Hades and, Athena and things like that. This game is Hades is very much based in Greek mythology. And honestly, it's very fun. Now, the first goddess you will always get on your first run is Athena. And her gimmick is that she gives deflect. Now, that
Can't get
does
me all the way
just
to
what it sounds.
Olympus, but thank you.
That does just what it sounds like. And
Hi there.
attacks that are projectiles will get deflected right back at the enemy. You can put it as your main attack or your special attack, getting it, but personally, dodge tends to be the best.
Just in time.
But that's just like personal, like preference, I think. Beat up all these numbskulls here. That is an alarm clock for something. Whoopsie daisy. Alright, and continue on. Now, this is a roguelike, so we kind of just can go until we die. At least there is a goal that we will expand upon as the time comes. But for now, we're just kind of fighting through the underworld. These are allowed. This is Zagreus, the main character, has said. Keys, yes.
They absorbed my blood.
Now, as you can also tell, there are traps. These will hurt you, but these can also hurt enemies if you manage to get them caught inside.
What now?
The ones that won't hurt you are the falling rocks. Those are fine.
A gift.
Those tend to just be more environmental objects that you can use. But the spike traps will hurt you, and they can hurt in some circumstances. Kind of bad. Now, as you can see, these enemies have golden health bars. That means that you need to deplete them. You need to deplete that first. There's armor. And any hit that they take last before like the armor runs out will get drained and will not get the full effect. It won't go into the health. It'll just get sucked up by the armor. Now another boon from Athena here. Um let's traps really I don't have like too bad of an issue with them. Let's go ahead and just have it deal more damage when we deflect. Now we're gathering some items and some things that may not necessarily be clear as to what they do right now, being that this is our first run, but whenever we die, we will figure it out and we'll get to all of it. Soon. Now, something I should say is always remember to use your cast. While there are different builds that you can have that kind of strengthen casts a bit, um, they are stronger than you may think sometimes.
Each exit has its own reward.
Now, yes, just as Zagreus said, each exit, there can be multiple exits, up to 3 or 4, depending on like where you are, can give its own thing. Now, if we were to go here, that would be a shop, as you can tell by the coin bag, and this is another boon. However, this also has a skull. That means that the enemies are going to be a bit more powerful, whether that be them having armor or like
Uh-oh.
things like that. Now, every every I'm getting a bit too focused. But every what we'll call like area, because there are 4 areas in the game, has a mini boss, and there's like a couple kinds of mini bosses that you'll see.
Get.
This one is fairly easy. It's just 2 bomb throwers there, and let's grab this boon. Yes. Now let's get into this. Each boon can have different rarities, and all the rarities do is just make the boons stronger. Let's go ahead and that's an epic, but I think I'll take this because I'd rather keep my cast open. So for now, let's just go ahead and get Blinding Flash here, which makes enemies exposed, meaning they take more damage from the back if they get if something they get hit with a deflected projectile. Ooh, now we are getting a bit low. We don't have an extra life or anything, so we'll just have to see what happens.
I'm hurt. Can't heal myself, but I can fight.
Yeah, just as we said. Can't heal, there's no healing. I've played this game before, as I have kind of mentioned, because this is a game that like
A palm of power.
is a bit like closer to my heart. Um, so I might do a little bit better than maybe I should, but we'll see what happens. Now, like this is the palm of power. All your boons that you have level up, have like levels of their own, and palms of power just give like them a little boost to their level. So for now, let's go ahead and give deflect more damage. Sure.
They must have lots of these upon Olympus.
Now we'll get into what these do later, but these are both these are both resources that give you upgrades once in the area that is like your main area.
Where?
For now, we'll just go ahead and grab this key here. Bunch of tough enemies, but we'll be fine. Oh, oh! Love that little riff. Dum 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 dum.
Damn it.
And
I'm
so,
home.
the House of Hades.
Yes, carry on, everyone. Don't mind me.
I'm up.
This is Hypno.
Welcome to the House of Hades, where... Wait, I know you. Guess that means you died out there, huh? Well, don't be sad, though. Pretty much everybody dies sometime.
Some of us more than others.
Isn't that true? Isn't that true?
Stupid boy. I told you nobody gets out of here, whether alive or dead. So how was your wanton ransacking of my domain?
Greetings, Father. My ransacking was a delight, thank you for asking. So I'll just be on my way again.
Be on your way indeed. What do I care? You shall never reach the surface. Go, see for yourself.
We shall.
What is it now? I've a mountain of infernal
We can talk to him
paperwork.
again, so. You can keep talking to him.
Go.
I don't know if this does
Familiar.
anything. Oh, no. Okay. And this is Cerberus. You can pet the doggy.
There's a good boy.
Please.
Yes, pet the pupper. Only the one on the right. Don't pet the other ones.
Infernal watchdog Cerberus regards the underworld prince with mixed emotions, from purest joy to deepest melancholy.
You watch over things for me, won't you, boy? You know I'd take you if I could. You've returned.
Yes. Now this,
Good to see you, lad.
Achilles.
Despite the circumstances, remember your training out there. The pain of death is but another obstacle.
And fear is for the weak. Take care, Achilles.
And as we see, there's a little spot here we can examine.
Dark and lavishly appointed lair of the underworld's king is home not just to him, but to his willful progeny.
You know I can hear you, old man.
Yes, it is something I particularly find funny about the Hades games, as there is like two. You can the characters, at least the main characters, outright respond to the like narrator voice, and the narrator is kind of his own character, and that's kind of funny, and it's a nice little detail that I feel like it doesn't happen all the time in games. Now, these little green spots, in a group of shades, as they're called, you can press R1 for me and listen in on them, and they will tell you their cause of death and a little give you a little quote. I'll call it, just out of lack of better word off the top of my head. And then this
Do not despair,
is next.
child. Such setbacks are inevitable and may be overcome with effort and with time. You made contact with the goddess Athena. She shall be true to her word.
I believe it, Nyx. I'm grateful that you put us into contact. I know you took a considerable risk in reaching out.
The risk is not to me. I expected the Olympians would involve themselves in this eventually. Reveal to them no more than they already know. Are we understood?
Yes, we are.
Then go.
Bit of a shaky, bit of a sus
Back.
relationship we're gonna have with the Olympians, but we'll get into that as the time
Bedchambers
comes.
of Prince Zagreus lie in a perpetual state of utter disarray, despite his lord and master of the house repeatedly insisting that he pick everything up.
Oh, come on, it's not that bad, is it?
It's really not. This room looks fine. Oh, there's like a couple of there's a couple of stacks of books. Oh, it's not that bad. Now, here is where we start getting into the upgrades that I mentioned earlier that you can give Zagreus here. This
Night and
is the
darkness.
Mirror of Night. You can use Darkness, which is, as we've kind of mentioned, a resource that you can get throughout your runs that allows you to permanently upgrade your different attributes. So as we can see, there's Shadow Presence, which deals bonus damage when striking from foes from behind. There's Chthonic Vitality, which gives you a little bit of health every time you exit a chamber. And then there's Death Defiance. This is important, and honestly, is probably the upgrade you want to focus on getting up. The is probably the thing you want to focus on upgrading the most, at least for your first two. I would say get two Death Defiances, and then you can start focusing on other ones. However, ultimately, it is also up to you if you wanted to do something that get greater reflex, which is also very useful as dashes. I would say are fairly important in Hades, and the other two are just kind of meh. But yeah, I would say focus on Death Defiance and greater reflex first of all. As we can see, we can also use those keys that we've been finding to unlock a couple more talents, as they're called, in the Mirror of Night. Now, keys also have another use.
Done.
Yes, done with the mirror for now. Okay, awkwardly
Okay,
long loading screen.
I can escape through that pink window there.
Keys also unlock other weapons. Now, currently, like I've said, we have the sword. The sword is called Stygian, and it is the sword you start out with. It's basic, and it's kind of fun to use. For a starting weapon, it is pretty nice. And you will honestly end up using most of the weapons at least a little bit, especially after you get some upgrades that we'll come across later. Now, something that is fairly obvious is that there's a decent amount to do in between runs. There's talking to all of your like talking to everyone in the House of Hades. There's upgrading yourself, and there's going to be a good amount of times where talking around to people around in the House of Hades will take a little bit of time. Now, something I should also go over is how I'm going to do these episodes. I am going to do at least one run per episode, depending on how long it is. Now, if it's a longer run, it may only be one. However, if it's a shorter run, I'll probably try and fit more into there into an episode. Like this episode, for example, I'm probably going to go ahead and just do another run. Now, as you can also see, we can actually unlock another weapon already. And this is a weapon I'm quite fond of, at least a little bit more than the sword. 'Cause again, while the sword is nice, um, it is also basic and like I also just have a thing for some of the other weapons that we are going to come across and unlock. For now, though, actually, I think I'm going to go ahead and save some keys and let this one sit. Now, if you go off over to this little place here,
I can do this. First get past the wretched shades of Tartarus. Easier said than done, and doubtless I'll be running into Meg. The River of Flame ought to be just beyond. Find a way up to Elysium from there, and after that... Alright, let's give it another shot.
you'll pan over the area that you're about to go into. And Zagreus will sometimes give a little talk, a little pep talk, which to be fair, considering he's literally trying to break out of hell, I think he needs a little pep talk for himself. I mean, he has a pretty great trainer in the form of Achilles, but yeah. And so I think we've gotten everything done. This is just our first run, so there's not tons to do in the House of Hades yet. But for now, let's go ahead and try and escape again.
Thunder. Is that...
This is who you probably think it is.
Is this really him? Okay. In the name of Hades, Olympus, I accept this message.
Greetings there, young man. Look, your father's always been rather difficult, and he's not so much as called in quite some time. You'll have a better home where you belong, here on Olympus. And to help you on your journey, have my blessing.
Yes, we get a blessing from the man himself, Zeus, the god of Olympus, the god of gods, so to speak. Now, personally, what Zeus's boons tend to do, at least when they are applied to either your cast, your special, or your attack, is they kind of shoot out chain lightning that will go between enemies or like strike another enemy. So I think let's go ahead and upgrade our special.
Lord Uncle Zeus lending his support. Never thought I'd see the day. Or night. Whenever.
Yeah, so that's a little bit of a running joke. Is that it's kind of impossible to tell. Oh, I missed an examine spot. That's okay. We'll get to it next time. It's kind of a running joke in the game. Is that it's hard to tell. Ow. It's hard to tell when day or night is in all of the underworld, really. Now there's a bit of darkness. That's very nice. Now we can either get some gold, which is used at shops, of course, or we can get another boon. And personally, I tend to like to go for boons rather than just gold. However, ultimately it's up to you and what you kind of want to do. Of course, of course.
In the name of Hades.
In the name of Hades. You used to hearing that, and gosh, do I like hearing that a lot. Makes me very excited. All right. I think let's go ahead and do double strike. I feel. Now a key or a darkness. Now, here's where it gets a little tricky. Is which do you want to focus on first? Do you want to focus on upgrading more talents of the mirror and unlocking more talents and getting new weapons, or do you want to just upgrade those talents? This is where the resource management kind of comes in, or what I'm going to call resource management, because again, I'm bad with words sometimes.
Fight me.
Yes, fight me. Get over here, you big lout. Oh, that was a bad hit. That's okay. You just beat him up. Beat him up. Slash at him. Now, yes, that is a trap kill. We can use these spikes, these little spikes as bombs. And those can be nice to just do a nice burst of damage. Does 500 as it says. Oh, that's all we get is a palm? That's okay. Palms are nice, however, like, they're also... It's hard to say that you necessarily want palms all the time. As you'd probably imagine, you're gonna be going for boons or things like that more often than not.
They're armored.
Yes, they're armored. Armored numbskulls, which are the little skull enemies, can be a bit tricky to deal with sometimes, but they're usually fine. Let's go ahead and upgrade our special. Now this is a chthonic well, or a well of Charon, excuse me. And these will give you 3 random items that you can buy. Usually for gold, though, sometimes there are special things that they'll give, and you can just use gold. Sometimes it'll be restoring a bit of health. Sometimes it'll be uh, dealing more damage to armor. Like a bunch of little effects that are nice to have, but not something you necessarily need to focus on. And to be honest, a lot of the times I tend to ignore the Well of Charon on accident, just kind of because I'm trying to get through. But yeah, they can be good to pay attention to. It can definitely be helped, and there is an achievement for having a bunch of Well of Charon items like affecting you at one time, because they tend to be over time effects that will happen, that won't go away until you've gotten past a certain amount of encounters or chambers. Encounters being every time you fight an enemy, like fight a group of enemies, and and typically each room is going to be another encounter, but sometimes not. It kind of depends. Let's go ahead and grab this. Let's go ahead and fight these. Now, again, there are a couple of mini bosses. We got the same one here again, but there are 2 mini bosses for each region that you visit in hell, in the underworld. Oh, and that is something I didn't mention about your cast, is that they do, at least with the version we have right now, they get stuck in enemies, so you have to kill the enemies to like get them out. Now this is Athena again.
The one called Nyx. She is your mother, as I understand? We Olympians rarely consort with the chthonic gods, though Nyx herself reached out to me about your plight, and I was spurred to act.
It was very nice of you. Hmm. I guess I'll go ahead and do the cast. Now, those are numbskull spawners. Those tend to... Oh, Skullamads. I didn't actually know what they were called. More darkness for the mirror. Now, this is a... this is a centaur heart. And what those do is those increase your health maximum for this run. It is not a permanent upgrade. All of your all of your centaur hearts will go away by the time like when you die and when you go to your next run, but that is okay because even just having a bit of increased health during a run is very useful. And honestly, the hearts can be something to go after if you see them instead of other things. Now, these gems, we won't really need gems for a second. Not for a little bit at least. There are at least a couple more runs we have to go through before those become useful. So instead, I'm just going to go ahead and do more darkness. Now, that is also something to note is rooms with that little mark will also have increased uh like rewards. So, for example, you'll get a little bit more darkness. I will get a little bit more darkness this uh from this encounter after clearing it. But say if it was something like a boon, your boon's odds of being a higher rarity will go up. And yeah, instead of the 10 like we have been getting, we get 25 that time. Very nice. I'm pretty sure it will, if you get them for a Palm of Power, it will give you a couple more levels in that Palm of Power, with the Palm of Power rather than just one. And if a bunch of other, like, sort of, like, little upgrades like that. Like, a little improvements to the rewards like that. So, there's a bit of a risk reward, whether or not you want the bigger reward for the tougher enemies, or if you want to just kind of have an easier time. That is the thing with Hades, is that unless they're not giving you choice, there is a lot of choice in each run. Now, obviously, there is a little bit of RNG when it comes to things like that, and we are getting a bit weak, so we might end up actually seeing our first use of Death Defiance here. With the next um you know what, let's upgrade striking. um well, let's go ahead and do it. Let's go ahead and go all in. Let's go and get some keys. Now, I should be using my my cast a bit more, and that is something y'all will probably notice, is that I tend to forget about my cast a lot. That is a little uh habit of mine that is not good. Sometimes it's fine because casts aren't super important, but other times I should be using my cast when I have it, and I just don't. But that's okay. And again, as you see, we got two more keys. Ooh, oh wait. Hmm. So this is a bit of a tough spot because I am fairly certain that this is going to be this next encounter, whatever one we choose, will be the last encounter before the boss floor. Now, you will always, unless some specific conditions are met that we'll get into another time, you will always get the choice of a shop and some other thing. Typically, I go for the shop. especially if we are in a bit lower health, like we are right now, because the shops can have health restores. Though not all the time. It's a bit rare, or not. I shouldn't say rare. It's a bit of a toss up. Yes, and this is Charon.
Why, good to see you, Charon, mate. Just minding my own business, taking in the sights, and hey, what's that you got? Some sort of wares for sale? Then I'll just have a look around.
Yes, he doesn't really talk so much, as you can kind of tell. Now there is now, as you can see, there are 3 items on sale. I'm pretty sure it's usually 3. I think sometimes it'll be a little bit more. Most of the time, it's 3. I don't know what to grab though. You know what? Let's go ahead and just grab the sandwich and fries here.
Beyond the
Let's look at
prison
this spot.
chamber lies the outermost perimeter of Tartarus, promising terrifying dangers far beyond the Underworld Prince's reckoning.
And I can reckon quite a bit.
Yes. Now, this is going to be our first boss. Who is it going to be? Many of you probably already know, but let's find out for those who don't.
Well, this is awkward.
Halt, Zagreus. Not one step further.
Come on, Meg. Haven't we had more than enough of each other by now? Besides, don't you have someplace else to be?
Your father sent me. All in all, I'd rather be on your bad side than his. Now you can turn back like a good little man, or I can send you home the painful way. What'll it be?
I'll have to go with the painful way.
A man after my own heart.
We'll see just how painful it's going to be. This is Megara, one of the 3 Furies of Greek mythology. Now, I'm probably going to have more to say about things like Greek myths as time goes on, but off the top of my head right now, I don't have much I can say. But again, that'll happen as time goes on. Oh, I'm kind of getting beat a bit. She's kind of kicking my butt a bit. Ooh. Now, when she starts spinning, she does this attack. You can just kind of dodge out of the way. But it's also kind of a good time to attack her because she's fairly open. Assuming you, assuming you can shoot.
Finally.
Dun, dun.
Cheers for that, Meg.
Yes, cheers for that. But I think for now, this is where I'm going to end this episode. We'll get into what everyone around the House of Hades has to say in the next one. So, for now, goodbye, and I hope you all have a wonderful day.